Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out. My name is Joe Ballard, and this is Social Media Breakfast, first event of the year. So I appreciate you all braving the elements to make it out here today. We are.
Oh, please. Yeah, go ahead.
So those of you who may be new, Social Media Breakfast is all about learning and connections. We bring together marketers, business owners, students, digital professionals for practical insights and valuable networking opportunities. We meet every third Wednesday of the month. If you can't join us in person, you can catch us on Facebook and YouTube. Hopefully there are plenty of people joining us today who could make it out. We are always looking to improve what we offer here with Social Media Breakfast. We're currently looking for some new board members to help us do that. So if you're interested in helping produce great content and the experiences like this every month, please visit our website and fill out our form. We do have some big changes we wanted to share with all of you. First, our incredible president, Meg Goals, has stepped away from the organization. We're sad to see her go, but excited to see what is next for her. Meg has been attending SMB Madison events since 2013, became a board member in 2023, and has served as our president since February of 2025. You can make sure to follow her musical journey at Sing Seesaw. And while she can't be with us in person today, we just want to say thank you very much for all you've done, Meg. In more sad news, we have Dan Rowe, who's leaving us. He's been our treasurer for the past 9 years. So it's kind of more behind the scenes, but definitely a big change for us. Dan has been with SMB Mad since January 2017. So long time member.
Fun fact, him and I started together.
Woo! Oh yeah, there we go. Awesome. Josh is still around.
Margie too. Like 3.
Oh, nice.
It's a big one. A big day for social media.
Yeah, big get. Dan's next big project is helping restore the New Glarus Hotel and Restaurant. So be sure to check that out when it opens this fall, I believe is their target date. So we're incredibly grateful for Dan's long-term dedication. Thank you, Dan. And some exciting news. We are welcoming our newest board member and treasurer, Jake Lukowski. Jake has over a decade of nonprofit accounting experience. Holds degrees in accounting and entrepreneurship from UW-Whitewater, and works for a nonprofit financial consultant for multiple clients. When he's not doing that, you can find him fishing, working on his classic car, or cheering on the Packers. And we're thrilled to have him aboard. Woo-woo! We're looking for more of our wonderful audience to get involved with us. There are lots of ways to help us out. We're looking for board members, event volunteers, recap writers, and to help with our general social media channels. We're also looking for breakfast sponsors as well and nonprofits to spotlight. If you have any speakers that you know of who want to share their expertise, we'd love to have you out. So if that sounds like you or someone you know, please visit our website or reach out to one of the board members here and let us know you want to connect. Big thank you to our sponsors. We truly couldn't do this without you. Dream Bank, Serendipity Labs, Live Well Video, VW Media, Subtle Strauss, Melissa Carlson Creative, and Talent CPA. You make this all possible, and we really appreciate your support. Show our sponsors some love and go follow them on social media. Now I'd like to turn it over to Andy to speak a little bit about Dream Bank.
Thanks so much, Joe, and good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I can't be the only one out of the group here that just loves shoveling snow. Is anyone else? I'm not even kidding. Thank you.
No,
all right. I actually,
sarcasm.
Yeah. I love waking up and it just gets the blood going, toss on a podcast or audiobook. So thank you all for braving the elements, making it here today. Special shout out to Meg and Dan too. I've been involved with Social Media Breakfast for numerous years at this point. This organization certainly wouldn't have progressed the way that it has without those two individuals. Meg's a heck of a musician to boot as well, too. So if you haven't seen Seesaw perform, I definitely recommend going to check that out, too. And I know that Dan and his wife, Leah, are working hard on the hotel down in New Glarus. So some cool stuff in the pipeline for both of them. I see a lot of familiar faces in the audience today, but a little bit about Dream Bank for those of you who maybe aren't familiar. Dream Bank is a free community resource that is put on by American Family Insurance. And everything we do here ladders up towards the inspiration and pursuit of dreams, in large part by helping to remove obstacles and barriers along the way. And I'd say that shakes out three main ways, the largest one being the programming that we offer. We host anywhere between 6 to 15 free events a month that are all through the lens of personal and professional development. One of it I wanted to highlight in particular is an upcoming event called Embracing Your Purpose. It's led by a professor here at UW-Madison, Dr. Christine Whelan. She teaches a class on happiness, actually, but it's all about kind of, navigating one's purpose. Maybe you're an empty nester, maybe things have shifted in your life, trying to refocus, where you want to put your energy and effort. So that class is kicking off February 5th. And with that, it is free to attend as well as with all of our programming too. So you can head to our website, amfam.com/dreambank, to learn more about that specific program as well as our other programs. But I want to call out some of the amenities that are available to the folks that are local here in Madison. So here at DreamBank, we're located at 821 East Washington in the downtown area of Madison, Wisconsin. In addition to the programs that we offer, we also function as a drop-in co-working space. So our hours are Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5, and you're always able to come in and have a quietish place to work. So if you haven't explored the space yet, right around the other side where our calendar is at, we have a lot of red desks and a lot of co-working space available for the remote worker, the solopreneurs, the entrepreneurs. So feel free to pop in anytime during our operating hours and have some Wi-Fi and some coffee and treats to fuel you as you work on your dream. In addition to that, we also have a very robust and interactive exhibit on site that's really rooted in positive psychology, meant to embody some of the beliefs and values of the organization. The theme with this one is rooted in design thinking, especially as it pertains to dream pursuits. So recommend checking that out if you haven't yet. And then lastly, very similar to kind of what we're doing here today at Social Media Breakfast, when we're not utilizing our space for our own programming, we offer it up to the community members to use free of charge as well. So maybe you sit on a board for a nonprofit or an organization, maybe you're just looking to get out of your normal office area, you can always shoot us an email, reach out to us. We can look at our calendar and see if we can get your events booked in our space here today. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to Joe.
Thank you, Andy. So today's nonprofit spotlight is Dane by Local, who is celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. Dane by Local is a Madison-based nonprofit dedicated to strengthening the local economy by championing independently owned businesses across Dane County and encouraging the community to think local first. They connect businesses and residents through networking, education, promotions, and events that boost local commerce and community pride. Be sure to stop by their booth in the back and sign up for their mailing list. You can also check them out at danebylocal.com. I'm excited to announce that we have a giveaway today. We have a Portal Mini from Facebook.
The theme is celebrating 2016.
Yeah. While this technology has sunset, it still is useful as a video calling app and kind of it has some smartphone capabilities. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a giveaway for Facebook portals from now and each event, January through April. One lucky attendee will win the portal. On our next month's event, you'll be able to express your interest in, if you want to win this or not. And you must be present to claim your prize. Today's winner is, we selected from everybody who showed up today. We got Myra Linares. Myra.
Right. Oh, hi.
You are. Enjoy. So make sure to tell your friends. You can bring them next time. You guys can maybe win a Facebook portal. We are also conducting a survey to help guide the future of Social Media Breakfast Madison. We'd like to know what topics you care about, how you prefer to attend, and whether different times or locations might work better for you. Wednesday mornings don't always fit your schedule. We especially want to hear from you. So please scan the QR code here to take the survey. You can also find the survey on our social medias, and we'll also be sending an email with another link to it. So please let us know what you want to hear about and how we can help serve you better. Don't miss our February event, 19 ways to give your website a glow up, with John Houston and Steve Mintz from Houston Design. We also have a special treat for next month. February 7th is National Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. I'll be being meet that day. We're going to be doing that on the 18th. And so we are excited to be bringing in Stellies from just down the street here on East Wash. So hopefully it'll be a bit warmer that day. But bring a friend out, get some ice cream. Make sure to keep in touch with us. Follow us on your favorite social platforms. Join our social media masterminds Facebook group to keep the conversation going. I'd love to hear from you more. And please grab some photos, share the event today. Help spread the word. And now we're excited to welcome today's speaker, digital marketing coach Keith Gilmore. Keith helps service businesses cut through crowded markets and become their buyers' trusted voice without gimmicks or pressure. Since 2008, he's helped 6 to 8 figure companies grow behind the scenes and has been a trusted voice in many Inc. 5000 businesses. He's a former social media Breakfast Madison and Dream Bank speaker, and we're thrilled to have him back. Please give a warm welcome to Keith.
Ooh, all right. Thank you. Oh, I got one right here.
Oh, there you go.
Unless you want me to double mic. All right. Great. So I'm actually going to be giving away something too. It's a web TV from 1998. Once you pulled that out, the Facebook camera thing, I was like, oh my gosh, wow. Bring it back. Okay, so this morning we're going to be covering a simple 2-step content strategy that is proven to earn trust and drive action. Now, I know that claim may sound a little hypey. Just want to put that out there. But the thing is that like it's not based on theory, and I'll tell you about that a little bit. But one part of the content pieces here is only on your website. It's only on your website, and the other content piece does exist on your website, but it can exist everywhere. It can exist from social to YouTube to email communication. And I'll go into that. But our main focus is the context of your website. Okay, like I said, this is not theory. It's not a brand new tactic. I'm not going to show some shiny bright object and you guys like, wow, that's so cool. Although that is something I am oftentimes flocking to, but no, that's not what we're going to do. But I will say every time I share this, virtually every time I share this to a business owner and I walk them through this, they nod. They're like, huh, this totally makes sense. Why isn't everyone doing this? Well, I mean, it's very intuitive. You'll see these things. Now, I'm not going to try to keep this mysterious too long, but when you see that, hopefully you start nodding. You're like, oh, yeah, it makes total sense. If you don't, just do that just for my own, security, if you would, validation. Okay. So raise your hand if you offer maybe a free estimate, a consultation, an on-site visit, or a discovery call. Okay. Right. Okay. So what usually happens? Oh, and real quick here, this particular content strategy it works most of the time just mainly for service businesses who have a high touch process to bring in new customers. So what happens? What happens when you've got this free offer, right? This consult, this discovery call, on-site consultation, whatever that might be. We know how difficult this is. You're on social, or you're working on SEO. Maybe you got ads, maybe you got emails out there, maybe you got people spreading the word, or you yourself, so you're more or less driving traffic to your website, and hopefully someone goes, oh yeah, I want a free consultation. That would be great. Or I want a free quote. So you lead people to your site, but they stop short. They oftentimes stop short. They hesitate. And when they do book an appointment, though, what sometimes happens is they just don't show up. And that's really frustrating, right? But the other thing that sometimes happens is they show up and they're distracted, or they show up and they're cautious, skeptical, and then when the price is presented, they just start pushing back. And they're like, okay, I'll give you a call. I just want to get some more information. All right, see you, bye, right? Does that ring true, right? Okay, cool. So just as a real quick warning, I have some candy and I have some all sorts of things for those that participate, okay? This is not a warning. This is just encouragement, invitation. So you're going to get some free stuff brought to you by American Family Insurance. So So this is basically the things that normally happen. Okay, but in order for me to show you this two-step content strategy, it's really important to set this up correctly. And I'm really looking forward to showing you this. But before we dive in, I think for a lot of people, framing this up really well helps a lot, because what it does is it helps to understand why this strategy is so important now in 2026 and why it's so effective. And it also adds some healthy urgency to really consider putting this thing into place. So here's the thing. Right now, we are in history's worst trust recession, right? Like, it is horrible. Like, no one believes anyone, right? Buyers are more informed, but they are also more skeptical too. And they've seen every ad, they've read every headline, they see all your emails. By the time they reach out, they've already formed the majority of their decisions, right or wrong. In fact, according to HubSpot and Forrester Research, 80 to 90% of their decision-making journey has already been made before ever reaching out to a business. Now, again, this is doesn't mean that their decisions are correct or based upon fact. But the problem is their biggest concerns, usually the big ones underneath, oftentimes they're still unaddressed. And so trust, trust just hasn't been earned yet. And so they end up on that consultation call or whatever, that interaction with some caution, with some skepticism. So the question is, in some degrees, but also the statement is I'm going to show you how businesses are winning in this trust recession. And that is kind of the framework by which we have this two-step content strategy. All right. So when it comes to earning trust in 2026, there are 4 pillars. And these 4 pillars, they've always worked. Just a little side note. They've always worked, and they will always continue to work. The first pillar is you say that these companies are saying what their competitors avoid, right? And the next one is they show what others prefer to hide. I'd rather not talk about that. No. And then the third one is they sell with honesty and not pressure. And then finally, they're more human than others are willing to be, right? So they say what others aren't willing to say. They show what others aren't willing to show. They sell in ways others aren't willing to sell. And they're more human than others are willing to be. And so everything we'll talk about today will flow from these 4 pillars, okay? But first, a little about me, and just want to share a little background about me and how it sets up to get into this 2-step content strategy. Personal side, I've been married to Karina since July of 2000. We've got 2 adult kids, Addie and Elliot. And my career into digital marketing doesn't come through a logical path, and I'm sure that some of you in this room, you would probably say the same thing. I went to school for acting. I went to school for acting in Southern California, where I grew up. And I actually ended up stumbling into internet marketing. I went from internet marketing to online marketing to digital marketing back in 2006. And I was hooked on the deep stuff, the nerdy stuff, the psychology behind what moves us and what drives us to make decisions. Most of my time, I've worked behind the scenes with hundreds of businesses, and sometimes as trainer and sometimes speaker, helping solopreneurs to 8-figure brands. And that's me in 2009 with my first YouTube video talking about why I was trying to answer the question of like, why is video marketing so effective? It's like, yeah. So anyway, but over the years, I kept seeing this same problem, this like embedded problem show up again and again. And we're going to talk about this and why the content strategy is so helpful for this. But the difficult thing was I couldn't really name it exactly until in 2017, I heard about the story of Marcus Sheridan. And Marcus Sheridan, how many of you are familiar with it? All right, great, nice. This is all what it's all about, right? Thank you, Joe. Yeah, so in 2017, Marcus put out this book called They Ask You Answer. Okay, and this was a game changer for me. Marcus ran a business that sold pools and spas, and when the real estate crash happened, within 3 days after that, he lost over $250,000 in deposits. Like people were, I can't afford my home, let alone a pool. What? There's no way. So he ended up, like I said, he ended up losing $250,000 in deposit, and Marcus just refused to give up, though it looked really bleak. And over the next 2 years, he created all kinds of content based upon the conversations he's had with people over the kitchen table, in their living room, out in their backyard, about what is it that they're most concerned about. And in the process, Marcus discovered a pattern about these buyers, and that they were mostly concerned about 5 big topics. 5 big topics, which he ended up creating all sorts of video content and written content about. And then within 2 years after creating all of this video content around these 5 topics, they had the world's most trafficked website in the industry. It's over 600,000 monthly visitors. And that's okay, right? But I mean, that's impressive. And as a matter of fact, New York Times did an article on them, and the headline said something like, "Breakthrough strategy, answering your customers' questions." Really? That's it? Yeah, that's it. But again, it comes down to recognizing the pattern. Oh, okay. So actually, this provides us a recipe. This provides us some formula, like a framework, right? So, and from this, he created a marketing sales framework, which gave him the ability to earn trust so much easier and faster. And as a result, he had his buyers became so much more educated. They entered into conversations even before the conversation happened, like the sales process happened. They came in more confident, and as a result, he was able to close 80% of the appointments. And we're talking pools, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars in investment, right? 80% is huge. And we're going to go into just a tad bit of that, okay? But this framework has turned into this marketing and sales system known as Endless Customers. And that's, again, the underpinning for everything we're going to be talking about, is what guides everything. And I've helped my clients put this into place. It's been awesome. They have shorter sales calls, sales conversations, and you can see the trust goes up way before that even happens, right? And then they have less price pushback, even in email communication, even before the call, the appointment, whatever, right? And then they end up feeling more confident. When you are the source of that confidence, oh my gosh, trust goes up, resistance goes down, friction goes away, right? I'm not saying it's all of it's gone, nothing like that, but the trust gets higher. It's great. And so let me ask you real quick here, does it seem like I might be talking about sales too much? I mean, with the context of content marketing, right? Some might. I've given this talk a few times before, and I will say that's sometimes the sentiment. Like, wow, this is a little bit more about sales. We're about social media marketing, Keith. Who here has a negative emotion when it comes to sales? The sales conversation. Here you go. Dubai chocolate right there. Haven't had that one, right? We all have all sorts of negative emotions around sales, right? This is normal for everyone, and it's super, super normal for marketers. But I just want to pause here because I think it's super important to stop and get on the same page with what the ultimate purpose of marketing is. So how would you describe in like maybe a couple words or a phrase the ultimate purpose of marketing is? I've been like I said, I've been in the industry for a long time. I've heard all sorts of different definitions. What are some of the things that come to your mind? Revenue? Okay, excellent. You get a Dubai chocolate. Oh, hand it over, Steve. Thank you. What was it? Next one?
Match customers' needs.
Match. Okay, awesome. Education. Product awareness. Okay, excellent. Engagement. Great. I love this. You're just throwing out answers, and I'm supposed to be throwing out candy here. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. I'll get you afterwards. Okay, thank you. All right, so here's my contention, or here's what I contend for, okay? I don't believe the ultimate purpose of marketing is about getting the word out. It's not about creating brand awareness. It's not about gaining a huge following on social, and it's not even about creating a relationship with your audience, okay? It ultimately is, I contend at the end of the day, the full end of the day, the ultimate purpose of marketing is to make sales unnecessary. It's to make sales unnecessary, right? And it's ultimately just to make convincing unnecessary, using pressure unnecessary, right? Now, I'm not saying it's all about the transaction, right? Don't hear that. But I'm saying that the sale is essentially all of that activity that you're doing, from social media to content, whatever the case might be. All of that activity creates trust, and then that trust turns into commitment, and then the real change begins. Oh, okay, right? And it's kind of like it's the way I usually frame it up is it's like if you go on a dating site and you put yourself out there. I mean, is your goal just to build awareness about yourself? Right? No. No one goes on a dating site just like, I just want to make myself known. Right? So it's the same thing is you're trying to find connection, right? You're trying to make the sale, right? Okay. But again, I don't want to sound like it's all about the sale. It's all about the transformation. It's all about the change. It's all about the difference that you can make when they are using the service or the solutions that you provide, right? So in order to do that well, it's really important we look at two different approaches to using marketing to make a sale. So the first approach is basically what most businesses do. This is what most have relied on for pretty much forever. And let's be fair, on the surface, it makes perfect sense. And it's also not a broken model. It's not a bad model. It's just, I believe there's been way too much of an over-reliance on it, especially at the height of this trust recession. So what am I talking about? So here's what usually happens, right? The business has the buyer contact them, usually through a form or a quick call. Then the appointment happens, either on the phone or in person. And then this is when the business addresses the objections, the questions, and shows the value of their solutions, and then tries to overcome price objections, right? And then comes the follow-up, which can take days, weeks, months, even years, all depending on the size of the commitment, the size of the offer, the size of the investment. And then finally, when the buyer decides to move forward, their trust has improved, but usually they still have lingering doubts and concerns about what to expect. Does that sound familiar? Yeah. So now let's look at what I call the trust first approach. So before ever reaching out, the prospect finds clear, straightforward answers on the website or in your marketing. And when the business, when they contact the business, they have a pretty clear understanding about what to expect. And then when the prospect meets for an appointment or a call, or that discovery call, that on-site consultation, whatever, they show up more educated, and they feel more confident, and are oftentimes just kind of clarifying things that they've already learned. So what ends up happening is calls are shorter, buyers are more decisive, buyers are more relaxed, and when they sign, when they actually say, yes, I want to buy, they're not just relieved. Oftentimes in these kind of situations, they're even more confident, and that confidence leads to referrals, which leads to more faster growth. So see, I believe one of the biggest mistakes businesses have made for centuries, not centuries, yeah, sure, centuries, is expecting the sales process to do all the heavy lifting, right? You will hear it ad nauseum online about like, you got to get better at sales. You got to get better at sales, right? And while that could be true, my contention is that's what marketing is for, to do all the heavy lifting, right? So that sales doesn't have to work so hard later. Again, the ultimate goal of marketing is to make sales unnecessary, not convincing. You're not spending all this time, right? So using this two-step content strategy that I'm going to show you does not mean, though, like you get rid of the guidelines to guide your sales conversation or throw away your scripts or your follow-ups. That is not what it means. But it helps to take the pressure off that sales process, off the conversation, off of the buyer in many ways, right? And it reduces the time and energy to address the same questions and objections over and over again, right? That can be very frustrating, very tiring. All right, so here it is, drum roll. But this is the two-step content strategy that, like I said, this is very simple. It's proven. There's nothing new. Okay, the first ingredient is step one, the landing page video, okay? The landing page video is essentially, it lives on the page where your prospect is going to request an appointment, where that booking form is, right? Where that intake questions are, where the Calendly might exist, right? And so now the landing page video is not to sell anything. You're not selling anything on that landing page. You're not telling them why you're the best. That's not what this is for. It's not a commercial about your company. The core job of a landing page video is to help your buyer trust you more easily by telling them what they can expect, okay? And this is done by addressing 3 unspoken questions that hardly anyone answers. Think about it. When you are on a website of a company, you're just kind of like, I want to, and they're offering some free consultation or some kind of free offer to start that conversation. How do you usually feel? Like, you're like, yeah, let's fill this out. No, there's hesitation, right? There's like, I don't know, like, I don't know. So basically this landing page video is going to do 3 things. It's going to address 3 questions. The questions are, can I trust you with my information? Because in the back of our mind, we're thinking, am I going to get bombarded? Am I going to get called, emailed? Oh, man, I don't know. That's usually in the back of our mind, and usually no one's addressing it, right? So the first question is, can I trust you with the information? The second is, why do you need this information? Sometimes you might have more questions than others, right? So it's providing them understanding why you need that information. And then third is, what happens next? What happens after I click submit? Like letting them know what happens next after they click submit and what happens at the appointment. What's that appointment going to look like, right? So to clarify, give you a visual of what this looks like, I'm going to show you an example in its context at River Pools in Virginia. Now, I will say, you're going to have to put your listening ears because Andy informed me the sound is not working. So for assistance, I don't have the greatest of speakers, but you're going to have to be reading some captions. We don't have to watch. It's not a long video at all.
wonder, am I going to be inundated with spam email? Am I going to receive a million phone calls from different folks trying to sell me something? Well, the answer is no in this case. So what will happen when you submit this particular form? Well, you will have opened the line of communication between you and a project design specialist. You'll receive one confirmation email just letting you know that the form was successfully submitted, and you'll receive a phone call within 48 hours from a design specialist. Just one design specialist. You've been dreaming about a pool in your backyard for some time. You've done your homework, you've done your research, you've decided it's time to move forward. So I invite you to fill out the form, hit the submit button. Time to talk. Time to talk. Your pool.
Cool. All right. So tell me, what did you notice? What did you notice from this video?
Well, clearly walk through the next step. What they're going to expect.
Great answer. Good answer. All right. Okay. What else? What else do we notice?
I like the pool in the background.
You like the pool in the background?
There was product.
Yes. Context. Right. Yeah. Joe. These are good. These are good. Oh, sorry. What is it? Very human. Yeah. Why was it? What was it about it that felt human? It's a selfie video. Right. It wasn't a big production. It wasn't like, oh, this is great. All right, guys, good. Let's move around, right? Like, someone's gonna fall in the pool anyway. But yes, right? Like, but I think you said it really well, Josh. The pool being in the background, right? It sets a particular context. The video itself on the landing page is there's context. It's very conscientious of the context. And I want to say something. You've heard the saying, content is king, right? Content is king. That's what you hear all the time. Some may argue content is the kingdom. Well, I say content might be king. And I would say, sure, content is king. But context is God. Context is everything, right? So your context informs what the content should be, because my audience may be different from your audience. So the content is informed by that context, right? Yes. Just getting out and putting on his towel. Underwater. You deserve a Dubai chocolate for that. Oh, all right. So, yeah. So essentially, there was no fancy production. It was a selfie style video. It was a clear explanation. Okay. Now, here's just another example of what this might look like on a different website from the concrete company here in the Madison area. I'm not going to show you the video, but I'm sure you're going to recognize the spokesperson. There's not a lot to this, right? To that landing page video. It's very intuitive, very, very natural. I was just sitting down with a business owner, runs a sign company here in Madison, and I was describing this, and he's like, this makes so much sense. No one in my industry is doing this, right? But, and so when it's done right, the cool thing is, what the typical conversion rate boost is 60 to 90%. I've seen it go up to 250%. All because of this video that says, here's what you're going to expect. It's okay. You're just, again, you're addressing the unspoken questions that virtually no one's answering. So we'll move on to the second piece of video content. So right after the prospect hits submit, right? They are automatically taken to a page where they will see a very important video, which is known as the 80% video. The name comes from what it does. It handles the questions and concerns that take up 80% of this sales conversation, of that sales interaction. So, and then the 80% video alone, what it often does, it just cuts the sales conversation in half because it enables that prospect to feel more educated. And I will dare to say that this 80% video, you want to position yourself as a trusted advisor, not telling them all the great things about you, but what you need to be thinking about. Here's a question. So sometimes this 80% video will entail both both FAQs and should ask questions, right? So it's about telling them, here's what smart consumers have realized, right? And you want to be a smart consumer. That's kind of the implied message to some extent. And then, so the goal is to get the prospect to watch the video, just review it, right? And I'm going to go over just some tips on how to do that, how to make sure they end up reviewing the content. But to give you more visual, I'm going to show you a snippet of the 80% video we did for fire and ice, heating and air conditioning in Ohio. Again, the sound is amazing, but I just wanted you to get the spirit of what's happening here, not necessarily production or how sweaty he is, despite them being a cooling company.
So you're an individual that's interested in replacing your current heating and cooling system, but you don't know where to start. You have questions regarding the installation process and who to ask about your options. In this video, our team will answer the most commonly asked questions that we receive during our first appointment. I'm Brian Carnahan, one of the residential sales providers for Fire and Ice. As a team, we have answered thousands of questions regarding the installation process over the years. So we have compiled 7 of the most common questions we are asked by customers. By the end of this video, you will know the information that you need in order to get an accurate estimate of what to expect during the installation process. Here's a list of the most common questions we receive.
So it goes through all the questions. All right, you get the spirit of it, right? And the sound is like really poor. I'm sorry, but the point is that you see in the video, what are some of the things that you notice? I'll just ask you that. I got 2 more Dubai chocolates left. Okay. Yep. Okay. Excellent. Sorry. Accurate? No, not me. I'm not accurate. Anything else?
They're replaced with a white screen.
Okay. Okay. That's great. Good answer. Wait, I'll give you this one. It's easier to probably throw. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I signed a waiver. You guys all signed the waiver, right? Okay, cool. All right. So now a concern a lot of people have is, how do we make sure the 80% video is watched before the appointment? So the other thing that should be happening ideally as soon as they fill out the booking form is they get some automated emails and texts, right? And so that email and text should be going out instantly, ideally. And that confirms their appointment and thanks them for it. Thanks for them for booking the appointment, and then repeats the reason to watch this important video with the link back to the page they can watch it, right? And then if you want to go even farther, you set up you set up automated reminder messages until a few hours before the appointment. Now, sometimes I hear people say, well, this sounds like you're bugging the person pretty bad. Well, no, we don't have to. Your messaging doesn't have to be that way, right? It's not like, I was actually just talking with a client yesterday, and he had set up reminders, text and email reminders, 30 minutes before, 20 minutes before, and 10 minutes before. I'm like, you might want to pull back on that. 30 minutes, just pick one, please. Now, here's the real kicker, though. The real kicker is, once you have the 80% video, and I will say this, a lot of folks, when they've created the 80% video, even though I've told them this, they get so amazed by what it will do for them. And this is the funnest part for me, because of that face. They're like, no, get out. This is amazing, right? Because by that time, we've created just the landing page video and the 80% video, and they're like, we have to create all this other content. Whoa. It's okay. Because the road actually opens up once you create the 80% video, because I would argue that the 80% video actually is probably your most powerful trust building asset in your content library, right? because now you have a long form video that can be easily trimmed down and repurposed into multiple short form videos. Now that guy in the from Fire and Ice, they're only answering 7 questions. So it breaks down to 7 questions, but feel free, answer more questions, right? Provide the SAQ questions, right? So these are all little short form videos that can be pulled from that long form video. It's great. So it's a confidence amplifier. It's a content multiplier. It's awesome. And then you take those short form videos and you put them on your site, in your follow-up emails, text reminders, maybe even in your blog posts, your LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, right? These are all the questions people are asking. Yes.
Have you seen a percentage of people that decide to buy after watching the video before answering or going to that call or that consultation?
Are you asking if people end up buying prior to watching this?
After they watch the video.
Oh, yeah.
Before the consultation.
But yes, yeah. I mean, well, they end up showing up with so much, like they're asking, like, so what's the financing issue? Like, or how to tell me more about the financing programs versus like, well, tell me more why I should work with you. Does this answer your question?
Have you seen people that just go straight to buy the product?
Oh, gotcha.
Watching the video before the consultation.
Within this context, typically that's not what is happening because most of the time they're not buying something online through like a checkout form. They're doing that through a conversation. And hence why I was mentioning earlier about the high touch process. So there's that conversation that ends up happening just, so there's a relationship built. Granted though, some of this stuff can work within a checkout kind of experience on a website too. So the answer is yes, but it's different for this context. So yeah, does that help? Okay, awesome, cool. So instead of, constantly repeating yourself on every interaction, every email, or that first consultation, you're just addressing all the questions. Like, I've gone over this so many times, right? Or just having to justify prices. The content from the 80% video can do so much of the heavy lifting, and that usually makes sales so hard and so cringy, right? So these videos increase the chance, these videos, the short form videos that you can pull from 80% video, it actually also increase the chance that AI tools will recommend your content because you're answering the exact questions your prospects are asking that LLM, that ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever the case might be. They're asking those questions. And according to a recent stat, I saw that 50% of search now is through LLMs, through ChatGPT and others. Yeah.
Is that only if you have it in text or in addition to the video?
No.
Some LLMs will not be able to.
So YouTube indexed all of the transcriptions.
Okay.
Yep. Primarily all videos. So yeah, that's the other beautiful thing is if you have a transcription, for or the script for your 80% video, that's something you can easily repurpose into a written content too. Yeah. Yeah. So how many people here feel like they're pretty confident about what they could put in their 80% video? Okay. All right. I'll keep the candy here. You guys can collect it later. I mean, this is an insurance company. I'll probably be covered, but okay. So the struggle sometimes for some, while it can be easy to come up with questions for the 80% video, others, it can be tough to figure out what exactly to focus on. And so remember the pattern that Marcus talked about, or that around the buying questions, the things that they're mostly concerned, that they are mostly concerned about, well, this is not supposed to be up there. Actually, it is. They're concerned about 5 main topics, and we're going to go through those real quick here, because in the Endless Customer Systems, it is known as the Big 5. Right? So Let's do that quick walkthrough. So the first one is cost and pricing. Now, this is the most heated topic of all the big five, because when I talk to CEOs or salespeople, oftentimes I get pushback telling me that we'll lose business if we mention price. If we show prices on our website, we're going to lose business. People are not going to want to talk. And I get it. But I also say, think about it. If you're on a website and you can't find anything about price, how do you feel? How do you feel? Right? You hate it. Yeah. Like, you get frustrated. And as a frustrated person, like on a website, what do you naturally do? You want to go somewhere else. I'm going to find I want to get some idea of what the pricing is, right? So I'm not saying that you have to list out all your prices, but you can explain what actually affects price, right? You can give the price range, but this is essentially what you're saying what your competitors won't. The next one is problems and concerns. This one's just about talking about the elephant in the room before the buyer does. It's don't avoid the tough questions. So you show that you've already thought through those concerns before they voice them. After all, we know that the best way to resolve a concern is to bring it up, to mention it before it becomes one. This is essentially how you sell in ways your competitors are afraid to sell. And third one is comparisons. Buyers are constantly comparing options, company solutions. So why avoid it? When you openly compare, even mentioning your competitors, because they know about your competitors, right? You take control of the narrative. Like, you are now positioning yourself as a trusted advisor. Like, I don't need your business, but like, you're already doing your homework. But let's face it, right? So your job is not to persuade, it's to educate. And that's how you show what your competitors will hide. And then fourthly is, as buyers, we want to see real proof from real people. So this is not saying, we're the best. It's about sharing your customer stories and their honest feedback. That's how you are more human than your competitors are willing to be. Boom. All right. And then the fifth one is best of lists. The buyers want to know, what's the best option for me, for my situation, for my context, right? And by creating best of list, you're not pushing your product necessarily. You're guiding their decision. It can be as simple as saying, if you're looking for the cheapest builder, we're probably not the best fit, right? When you are consistently addressing the 5 big topics, you send a message to your industry that you refuse to play the same game as everyone else, and by nature, you will disrupt your industry, right? But your audience won't be able to ignore you because you cut through the noise that they're already drowning in to bring clarity and confidence that they are hungry for, and they'll thank you for it by giving you their business. So real quick here before I end here, a couple just important things. We already probably know this implicitly, but I just want to say that the higher production video is not the focus here, particularly in your first video. And then clarity is ultimately what buyers want more than they care about the high quality production. And it's not to say you don't put in high quality, or that you put in, you spend time in putting this together. But don't let the sizzle get in the way of the steak, if you would, right? But I will say, you just need some good audio and lighting, right? Am I right? Am I right? Yes. And a pool with water. So whether you have a bunch of content that covers the big 5 or not, companies who put this in place, their conversations still feel lighter because prospects show up more informed and less defensive. And that's exactly what recently happened for the concrete company. Matt Wallace, the owner, recently told me that it was like a night and day after we created this 2-step content, and then we created a number of other pieces of content. The conversations they had with their prospects, their appointments, were shorter, easier, and people just like, wow, you really are looking out for my best interest. This is great. And I understand your pricing, So that's the power from just this two-step content strategy. And it's just one small little fraction of the endless customers framework. Now, I want to make sure that you have what you need to start this on your own. So the 2 bonuses all attendees get are the exact fill in the blank video script templates that I actually give to my clients. One for your landing page and one for your 80% video. What it will end up happening is you'll arrive on this page. Looks like this. Notice I'm giving you the expectation, right? So you'll arrive on this page. It looks like this. You've got 2 buttons, one for the landing page video script, the other one for the 80% video script. And then you just go to the link. You'll see just make a copy, and then it goes into your Google Drive. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate your time. This has been awesome. There's that one.
All right, and that'll wrap us up for today. Thank you so much for coming out. Yeah, do we have any questions? Yeah, by all means.
You just have to be addressing your resources, but is there optimal length for the first and second video?
Such a good question. Wow, Judah, you're awesome.
Repeat the question.
Right, yeah, so the question is there optimal lengths for these videos? Is that pretty much it? So as far as the landing page video, typically it can be anywhere between 30 to 90 seconds. That's usually where it lands. And then the 80% video, I would say, unless you have a celebrity speaking for you, most people will not watch, usually in this range between a 9 to 12-minute video. That's usually like a magic spot. But here's the other cool thing, what you can do, and I do this all the time, is you actually create a PDF version of what's in the 80% video. So on that page, I don't know if I even have it here, but yep. So please watch this important video before your appointment, right? So this video pretty much incorporates a lot of what's already in here. This actually goes into a lot more. But that's just one, that's a resource that's provided to them so they can consume it in 2 different ways, right? So that cuts down on, I don't have time to watch this video. Oh, well, I'll read it, right? So does that help?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Anyone else? Yes.
Do you think this is applicable for brands that don't have like a sales process or a traditional sales process for the salesperson, e-commerce?
Yes.
Whatnot?
Yes, it has worked. Yes. Yeah. Does this work for a kind of a checkout process for, for where someone is buying right on the website? Yes, it does. But I would say the same idea for the most part, because again, it's about using this framework. It's about understanding the people pretty much no matter what industry they're in, for the most part, are considering those 5 big topics. Like it's a recipe. It's no longer just following the latest trend and going, maybe this won't work, and we'll throw this some spaghetti on the wall and go, let's see if that sticks. It's going, okay, here's your recipe. Focus on these things, and I would say I would put lots of money that it'll work. Actually, I'm working with an organization called Ethical Trade Company. Trade Co. To do this very same thing, and they are both a shop and a virtual store. So,
one more question: if you do have the traditional salesperson approach,
yeah,
how much does it matter that it's the salesperson that they're going to talk to in the video versus the CEO or some other person, the celebrity? Like, does it connect with the person they're talking to?
No, I mean, it usually doesn't, especially if you even mention something like one of our team members, right? Even in that video that I showed earlier where the guy was saying, like, there's going to be one consultant that's going to be reaching out to you, just one. And that would be essentially the person you're going to be talking with. So, yeah. Yep. Did I repeat the question? Okay. Sorry. All right. Anyone else? Yes.
What are your open resources to sort of dive deeper?
Okay. Yeah. So I would say pick up the book, Endless Customers. The other cool thing is they actually have an entire training course that's free. Trying trying to remember right now where you're going to go, but if you look up Endless Customers community, you can create an account, and then you are part of their community, and then you have all these courses available to you for free. So this is, yeah, your mind is going to be alone. So, and then I will say, not to put a plug here, but I was just telling Joe that in Chicago at the end of March, there is an Endless Customers conference. So I can fill you in more about it later. Anyone else? All right. This is great. Thank you guys so much. Sure.
Thank you so much, Keith. Yeah, thanks so much, everybody, for coming out. We will hopefully see you next month. Get some ice cream here. Make sure you tag us, like us on social, and we'll talk to you soon. See you next time. Thanks. Awesome. Good job, man.
Oh, sure. Thanks, man. Yeah. That was fun.
Mhm.